That's
Let me.
that's sorry,
One of
go
the
ahead.
things that I thought that you might find interesting was talking about magic, and
Please, yes.
I actually give a lecture on magic and how important magic is to Freemasonry. Um, in this way, because it's if you look at the literature on Freemasonry going back 150 years, it's written about there's a lot about magic in it, magic, 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 magic. If you realize that magic is anything we don't understand, I'm going to tell you, I got a cell phone here, and as far as I'm concerned, this is magic. I don't know how this works. I know it does work. I know I pick it up and I can do certain things with it. I know the better I get at it, the more magical stuff it can do. And so, if you think of, and this was Isaac Asimov's definition, as magic as any significantly technologically advanced society would seem magical to us. And so, there are many things about the world that we don't understand. And if you take the alchemical symbol that Masons use all the time, you've seen it over and over again at every lodge, you'll see that they'll take the square and the compass and they'll make this inverted, these two arrows, one up and one down, which is the symbol for as above, so below. You could say that as in this, there are rules, as there are rules in the spiritual kingdoms, there are rules in the physical kingdoms. As there are rules of the macro universe, there are rules in the micro universe, and they match. They're the same. Just because you don't know those rules doesn't mean they don't exist. And just because you run up against the rules, and I don't know what gravity is. In fact, I don't think anybody knows. Nobody knows what magnetism is. We know it works. We know it's magic. That's magic. And so when you look at magic, it's any rule we're interacting with that we don't understand. And you could have a ritual or a symbol that works a magic because we don't understand yet what's going on. As we know more about the human mind, the human consciences, I think we'll understand more about what's going on. But we can't discount what seems magical. And to label something magic and is not a pejorative, it's not a negative. Now, then the question becomes, well, what is black magic and what is white magic? And I think that's another really interesting conversation because it brings into the concept of good and evil. And in the human condition, what are good and evil? And we have a bunch of Masonic tools that we use to discuss this. We have the level, we have the 24-inch gauge and different things that we will use as symbols to talk about this. But if you think of yourself and you're in a room and you're not interacting with anyone, you're not doing anything. You're neutral, you're in the middle, you're not doing anything. But if you walked over and you open the door for someone, your action is slightly good, makes their life slightly better, right? You're on the freeway and you let somebody in. That's slight goodness. You're on the freeway and you cut somebody off intentionally and then you give them the finger, right? Well, now you've moved over to the dark side a little bit. Your actions have a negative consequence on your fellow human beings. And this is a spectrum, right? The further you can move far in either direction. You could become, well, let's say Adolf Hitler or Mother Teresa in human action. And so that's when we start to look at it's our actions. And now it's also our thoughts. And if you're really, really into your ritual and you're really into your magic, you'll understand it's what you speak. Speaking that's why we have incantations. That's
Hmm.
why we do prayer and that's why we have rosaries. The power of human speech is different than human thought, but it's as powerful in our rituals. And so, in one of our earliest Masonic rituals involves the combination of speech, thought, and action. And we equate it back to a biblical story, and we teach that to the candidate, and we do it over and over and over again in all our degrees and rituals. We demonstrate this thing over and over and over and over again because it's powerful in how it programs your subconscious. So, and that goes, and if you look down, you follow this rabbit hole even further, the programming your subconscious is the things that the New Agers will call the secret or manifesting or the universe appearing stuff. That doesn't appear out of nothing. But if your subconscious is looking at the world instead of your conscious mind, you will see opportunity. You will see the gut instinct. You'll have the intuition. And that's what drives the inner creativity. So that's all magic because nobody understands it.
Yeah.